Okay, how are you? Happy to see you. Thank you for joining. Today, we are discussing a topic uh, known as homeostasis. What did I say? Homeostasis. Okay, for the sake of spelling, you write home or stasis. So, homeostasis. So, we shall start by defining homeostasis. Okay, homeostasis is a self-regulating mechanism which aims at maintenance of internal environment constant despite the changes in the external environment. Let me repeat. Is a self-regulating mechanism which aims at maintenance of internal environment constant despite the changes in the external environment. Let me explain. Homeostasis ensures that conditions in the body are constant. So homeostasis is like it is against fluctuations. Nothing should be like it is up, then down, up, down, up, down. No. Homeostasis ensures that conditions are constant, no fluctuation. No fluctuation. So it ensures conditions are constant. So it ensures that despite the changes in the external environment, the internal conditions are kept constant. Okay, I'll explain. What do you understand by external environment and internal environment? External environment is the immediate environment of any organism. The immediate environment, like where does it live? Where does this organism live? For instance, environment can be, in most cases, aquatic or terrestrial. Aquatic is water, means water. Organisms like fish, those organisms that live in water. So their immediate environment is what? Aquatic. Then there are those which live on land, the land organisms, which are found on land. Then those are terrestrial. So that is external environment. External environment is simply the environment, the immediate surrounding of an organism. Now, so we are saying despite the changes in that external environment, the internal environment should be kept constant. So which one is the internal environment of internal environment generally? Internal environment is the environment surrounding the cells. Environment surrounding the cells of organisms are now the internal environment. Environment surrounding the cells, especially the fluid there, which is called tissue fluid. That is the internal environment of cells. For instance, connecting with what we discussed earlier, like after digestion, food is absorbed into the bloodstream, and then in the bloodstream it is transported. The nutrients are transported to the cells. In the cells, they undergo respiration to release energy. So the blood is responsible to carry it to the cells. But if you see, there is no direct contact between the cells and the blood vessel. No direct contact. So the question comes: how does or how do the nutrients in the blood going to get into the cell, and yet there is no direct contact? So normally, as the blood leaves the heart, it leaves the heart through the arteries. What is the main artery? The aorta. that as the blood leaves the heart with a lot of pressure through the aorta, it keeps moving with speed, and as the artery progresses, it branches. Blood to be taken to the upper part of the body, the lower limbs. So as it branches, the arteries become smaller arteries, which we call them arterioles. So the arteries branch to form arterioles, and then as it gets deeper into the tissues, the arterioles narrow further to form capillaries. I've always loved using my hand. Like if this is the main artery, so the artery will branch to form arterioles, small arteries, arterioles. If these arterioles again was to branch further, it form capillaries. So I'm trying to explain what tissue fluid is. So when it has branched further to form capillaries, very narrow capillaries, without high pressure, some blood components can be pushed to sieve out of the blood through the process of ultrafiltration, very high pressure. So it comes out. Okay, so some blood will be in the inside the vessel, and some components have been forcefully to move to the other side of the capillary wall. So what leaves the blood vessel to go to the capillary wall, that other environment, is known as tissue fluid. So tissue fluid is simply blood, but not really fully blood because it doesn't have all the components. Remember, those with large molecules like blood cells, red blood cells, white blood cells, blood cells, and plasma proteins, fibrinogen, albumin, because they are of their large sizes, it cannot pass. Okay, so what passes, very small one, that passes is called tissue fluid. So it is part of the blood, but blood which has been sieved, tissue fluid. So this tissue fluid is now responsible. It goes to where the cells are. It beds the cells. It goes to where the cells are. So remember, they are carrying nutrients. So the nutrients will diffuse into the cells. Okay, oxygen. And then the waste products also now diffuse out. Then it gets into this tissue fluid and it will find its way back into the blood vessel. Those which will not go back, it will go to another system called lymphatic system. That's a story of another day. Now, I was explaining internal environment. Internal environment is the environment surrounding the cells, e.g., for example, tissue fluid. Okay, so that is internal environment. So when you talk about homeostasis being balancing the internal environment despite the fluctuation and the changes in the external environment. So the internal environment is kept constant regardless of what is happening in the external environment. So what is responsible for maintaining the constancy in the internal environment is what we call homeostasis. Maintain internal environment despite the changes outside. That is homeostasis. So what are some of the conditions which are kept constant? It includes the following: one, osmotic pressure of blood and tissue fluid. Osmotic pressure is that tendency to gain water, like a solution which is hypertonic, or a solution which has a lot of solutes than solvent has ability to take water. That is to say it has high osmotic pressure. So it has to be kept constant. It should not be hyper or hypotonic. It should be isotonic. Okay, hapo katikati. Temperature also should be kept constant. pH of the tissue fluid and blood sugar, that is the glucose, should be kept constant. Ionic concentration. So those are some of the examples of conditions that should be kept constant. Now, in our bodies, there is one part of our body that is responsible for maintaining that constant. I call it a police or a whistleblower. It is the one announcing that, hey, something is happening, that something is wrong here, something has gone beyond what is required, something has dropped beyond what is required. So please maintain the constant condition, or maintain it at a balanced state. Which is that part? It is a part of the brain. The name is called hypothalamus. Say it again. Hypothalamus. Hypothalamus is the part of the brain that is responsible for controlling homeostasis. It's called hypothalamus. If that part was to be surgically removed, some conditions will just be fluctuating, and you'll even die. Blood sugar will be here, and then all of a sudden pH is low, that is acidic, and so condition that. So thank God for hypothalamus. It controls it controls it controls the conditions, the internal conditions in the body. So finally, as we bring it to conclusion, what is the importance? What is the significance of homeostasis? I guess you have pictured some. There are two main importance of homeostasis. One is that to maintain optimum conditions, for proper functioning of the body cells. Maintain optimum conditions. Optimum. What do you mean when you say optimum? No more, no less. Optimum conditions. The conditions that for the functioning of the cells. Remember, when it is too much, no, it is not good. When it is too less, it is not good. So it maintains the optimum, so that cells function normally. So no fluctuation. Secondly, it enables organisms to inhabit or adapt to a wider range of environment or habitats. So it enables organisms to live almost in any place. Two extreme places, like very cold place or very hot place. For instance, human beings, if you go to a hot place today, we can still survive there. By the body will sweat. That sweating is the body is trying to release excess heat. But nevertheless, we'll still survive. You go to a cold place, could be shivering, yes, you shiver, yes, but you are okay. So why are you shivering? The body is trying to generate heat. So you see, that is homeostasis. When you go to a cold place, it tries to generate heat so that you live comfortably, okay, in that place. When it is hot, it does, the body does everything possible to ensure that you are okay. Some things could be happening, sweating and water. So all that is homeostasis. So homeostasis is that as self-regulating. What do you understand when you say it is self-regulating? It means you do not remind your body that, hey, it is hot, you should be sweating. It is self-regulating. The body does it. It just senses that some things are not okay, and then it does it involuntarily without your awareness. That is homeostasis. So it ensures that things run normally in the body. Thank you so much.